What is up, Wisco? We are coming to you live from Madison.
Yes.
We are in Madison.
Yes, sir.
We had a nice little trip today throughout the state. We are now checked into the hotel, and we're going to give you a quick recap and go over a few things. So appreciate everyone who stops out. Thanks for joining us this evening. We got Josh in the house tonight. He's an awesome cat. A lot of you have gotten the chance to meet him. And he also has been able to make a couple of road trips and get a chance to stop out to some of the cool businesses we get to say hi to and everything. So, hey, Jill, thanks for swinging by. Make sure you check out our friends at Higher Love. Thank you, honey. My wife must be checking in from the home base. Quick reminder, shout out to Higher Love. Appreciate their support in this journey and don't know what we do without them. So, again, if you haven't got a chance to check them out, please make sure you do. They've got the awesome promo here for you. Make sure you use that on your visit. And appreciate everyone again stopping out. Josh, how was your experience today, man?
It was really great. We went to a lot of really cool dispensaries. Saw a very cool consumption lounge in Milwaukee. It's really great people. People really dedicated to the cause and people that want to get good medicine in the hands of people that need it most. So really great people down here in southern Wisconsin and really good products as well. I'm seeing this too. Agreed.
I think we should give him a quick shout out here. Josh was nice enough to make sure we didn't forget names. So shout out to Josh. We got a chance to meet Colin with Canny Hemp Co. That was Milwaukee.
Yes, Canny Milwaukee was a consumption lounge, one of the coolest consumption lounges I've seen in the state. Really awesome. They have a bar set up on the outdoor patio. Really cool stuff there in Milwaukee at Canny. Check them out for sure if you're in the area.
Yeah, no, it was very neat. I look forward to some collabs and that kind of stuff. They got a neat area in the back. Really cool take on things. Definitely haven't seen anything like that before in my travels yet. But Colin over there at Canny, make sure you guys check those guys out. Also got a chance to check in with our buddy Ty, the manager of Ignite Dispensary in Milwaukee. Shout out to them. They've always been good to us. They've always had a great product lineup. Their drink lineup is very hard to beat, and the THCA flower is on point. Jennifer, our travels are good. It seems like we were on the road all day, which we kind of were, so I guess that does make sense. But been a long day, but always enjoyed kicking it with you guys and getting caught up. So thanks for stopping by. Todd, what's up, my man? Alex Sanders says, love the podcast. Cannabis is medicine. Absolutely, man. You got that right. And then for the second half of the day, we got to check in with, I would say they're a collaborator, wouldn't you? Collaborators?
Yeah. We got to check in with Waukesha CBD. That's Zach. They are over on 805 North Grand Ave in Waukesha, Wisconsin. Really great spot. It's a newer spot. Great products, educated staff. Check them out for sure. And Zach's homie Pete at Green Swan Hemp Company. Got to meet Pete today. Really, really cool spot. One of the nicest dispensaries I've seen. The storefront is gorgeous. Pewaukee is the place where they're at. Go see Pete Swan in Pewaukee. It's a really dope spot for sure.
Dude, they got a magic shop in Pewaukee.
They do. We saw a magic shop.
Pewaukee is like, I don't know, it's a cool little town right by the.
Beautiful.
That must have been a lake, right?
Yeah,
That wasn't a river.
No snow here. There was sand on the beach, and they were having a bonfire. So
right.
Super cool
stuff
Kelly,
going on. Thanks for stopping out. Todd, I did see the new maps. I will send that to you if you weren't able to see those yet. Dan Schaefer on Twitter, he's a good guy, and he had a comparison of the two. So pretty neat to see that. We were just told to go there in Pewaukee. My husband works out there. Oh, right on. Yeah, definitely make sure you stop by. Tell him we sent you. And, well, he'd take care of you either way, but he's an awesome guy out there. So definitely check him out. For tonight's episode, just want to touch on a couple of things. We'll see how much time allows. Pretty excited to sit down with Shay Sortwell tomorrow morning, a Wisconsin state representative out of the Two Rivers area. He'll be the first Republican we get a chance to sit down with. So looking forward to going over a couple of things with him. And I know when it came to cannabis and just talking to him, he definitely is for cannabis consumption. So it'll be interesting to see and get that ball rolling with the Republicans. Again, a lot of them say that they're not against it and that they did not care for Voss's bill. So Appreciate any of them that are looking to hop on so we can pick their brain and figure out what we can do to get this thing rolling. So with that, I wanted to touch base on a couple of questions that you guys thought might be good to ask them. One of the ones that got sent over, let me pull up the Google Drive. So again, we want to be nice. We don't want to be calling people names. I know it can be frustrating. What is that? Real quick, sorry. Can't stop thinking about the missing 3-year-old boy in Two Rivers. Oh, no. That's not good. That's not good at all.
Yeah, we did hear about that.
That is right. Okay, that's where that was. When it comes to questions for the Republican, something that I think would be, well, let me get it pulled up. I can't talk and not there yet. Do they have a positive vibe? Why the pushback? I don't get it. That's will be interesting because I think there is a higher power in the party that kind of controls maybe what people say. I guess we'll kind of have to hear it from the horse's mouth, but sitting down with even some pretty conservative folks, from what I could find online, they even were saying that Voss's bill was too messy, too controlling. So it'll be interesting to see, again, what we get kind of on the record when we talk to them with the podcast. So save a lot of those questions so we get it firsthand and it's not like scripted or anything. So definitely looking forward to that. So here we go. If they're positive vibe, why the pushback? That is a good question. We're going to word that like so. Give me 1 second here. Share screen, present, share screen. So yeah, let's come up with some questions. And I think that's a great one to start with, which is, make this so we can see it pretty good. It seems to the people, it seems that Republicans are against legalization for the most part when looking at like news reports and stuff, when looking at news and online, is it safe to say that the majority is against legalization? I think that would be a fair question. Legalization. Yeah. Because I would say that's just what it seems like right now. I mean, that's my understanding from just the outside of things. And again, when I started talking to them, they said that wasn't the case. That's where it's like, well, let's get this figured out then. So I think that's a fair question. And why is all this on here? Go hide that. Show me this technology. I swear. They make it sound like it's great, but I don't know. We almost got in a fight with the GPS talking to us too on the way here. So we'll let that slide for now. I saw a couple more comments. Let's get caught up real quick. Gloria, thanks for stopping by. I have my medical card in Florida and then moved to Illinois where it's legal and now live here. Want to see it legal. Let's go, Lori. That's the plan. Ask if they think Trump will federally legalize if he becomes our president. So we'll say, have you heard anything about legalization efforts from the Republican Party on a national or federal level? Because I would say it does kind of seem that way across. Well, no, a lot of states now. I guess I don't know because I don't follow them that closely, but it seems like even it seems to be less of a red and blue thing when you look at states that have legalized. But federal, thank you. That is there. Enter. Wait, did I put level or federal level? One thing I would like to ask too is what do you think, or how do you think Wisconsin, here we go. I don't like to call people out individually, or I like to ask for like a collective take. How do you feel, how do you feel the Second Amendment would hold up for users of cannabis in Wisconsin? Does that sound right?
Yeah, and he's definitely a supporter of the Second Amendment. So
Yeah,
if you
yes.
guys have any 2A questions, he's the guy to ask.
Yes, I agree with that. He's got a sticker of 2A on his. Oh my God, we got way far behind. What's good, Canna fam? Hey, what's up, Jesus? I love it. Hopefully, with the new maps, that will help. I'm thinking so, Tammy. They take too much money from prisons and wouldn't let it happen. I'll just put on here a lot of concern the people have as to why legalization hasn't happened yet is because of revenue generated by law enforcement. What is your take on that?
Excellent question.
What is your take on the topic? That sounds even better. Love it. Good deal. Hey, Don, thanks for stopping out. What's going to happen when Senator Agard leaves her seat in Madison? I have a good feeling that she wouldn't be stepping out if there wasn't something in place with that. But I can ask him if he supports Agard's bill. Do you personally support
Senator Agard's
bill?
And what would you change about it
if not? To see changed in it? I think that's a great question. All these school referendums failed yesterday. Do they see any improvement in this area with funding coming from recreational dispensaries? That's a great point. Many school referendums. Oh, God. Referendums. We got her. Failed yesterday.
Was that from Waldo?
Yeah.
Peppers? Waldo, I tried your apple slaps flour. It was amazing.
He won that at Lebowski Fest.
I did, yes.
Did you get a question? What?
Yeah, I think I won a trivia question.
Did you? Watch out.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, you pull one out of the hat.
Once in a while.
I had to feed him the answer. No, I'm just kidding. That was fun. Many school referendums failed their vote this week. Oh, geez. What did I do there? Do you foresee recreation? You guys now see why I struggle with spelling. Oh, I got recreational. No way.
Nice.
Recreational sales helping such things. I'll clean these up in the morning. We get to meet them nice and early. Why do the Republican Party doesn't want to pass a bill to legalize adult responsible use in homegrown? That's good. I'll ask about the guy. I'm going to ask him about do you support adult responsible use in home grows? I think that's a great question. Actually, I'm going to put, yeah, that's right. Responsible. Damn it. Jesus, we are in, Jesus, that just sounds cool to say. We are in Madison tonight. We checked out Milwaukee, Waukesha, Pewaukee during the day, and then tomorrow we'll be back at the Capitol. Well, we were there last week. Last week.
We've been on the
road. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, last week. Hola. Hey, Victor. Thanks for stopping out. Are the Republicans against pot because of liquor lobbyist pressure? I will find that out because that doesn't appear to be the case, but I will ask.
Yeah, that's
Todd's in central Wisconsin. All right. FYI, not many folks know, but Everest signed a bill that requires anyone that sells vapes in Wisconsin to have a tobacco license by March 6th. All right. Good to know. Greg, we got a gentleman that's going to be from the state board that's going to be hopping on a podcast. They are not against legalization, and they're not lobbying against it. I did track, and I couldn't find anything showing any lobbying funds going to stopping legalization efforts. And in fact, one of the state board members of the Tavern League grows hemp and sells it in stores and is more than ready for it to be legal.
Yeah, I don't believe that they're our opposition anymore.
I think they might have used to been a few years back.
Yeah,
but
at some point for sure. But yeah, now it seems like they're on board. But they just want to be filled in, and be a part of all that as well.
Right. Well, doesn't it cost more in Fed state subsidies to keep weed illegal? That is a great question. We're going to bank that off of our previous one up here.
Excellent question.
Biggest question I have is why wouldn't a state want the revenue from cannabis tax for infrastructure? Amen. I'm going to add that to this one here. Infrastructure. I cannot spell. Infrastructure. That's not right.
FR. Yep. FR.
Structure. Hey.
We took a couple
damn it.
tabbies before we
Tabbies in the
guys.
house. Appreciate the tabbies. Maybe some, but not all tavern league participants. I think it's more liquor lobbies in this state. Definitely could be. Looking into that.
Okay.
You heard that's up with the municipality to enforce and send the businesses the documents necessary, as well as filing those documents with the state. Using a THC pill isn't what needs to be done. Looking for being able to grow your own 100%. Liquor lobbies along with the Republican Party. Could definitely be. Thanks for stopping by today, gentlemen, says Pete. Absolutely, man. Our pleasure. Always nice to see you over there. Why are they trying to follow Minnesota? That is a great question. I will clean that up, but I will know what we're asking. Minnesota. I'll make all these sound prettier in the morning. Minnesota. Everyone is always arguing about how to repair the roads. That's a good way to do it. Yeah. Potholes. Get it? Todd says, hooked on phonics work for me. Yeah, whatever. Don't be making fun of my spelling now. I think we got a pretty good start because I also had a few written down in the car. Yeah, Todd's always got a joke. He's always got a joke. Infrastructure. I'm still so far off, they don't even know what to do. That's fair. I will get to it. With that, we also had quite a bit of news this week that I wanted to touch on. Let me get some of that pulled up across the states, the United States of America. So I actually had ChatGPT hook up the links for us. So, not sure if you guys saw, but whoa, what did I do? Go back. Hang on. Computer is, whoa. My computer is losing its mind. There we go. Geez, sorry about that. Kansas lawmakers reject cannabis legalization amendment. And if I remember this correctly, it failed pretty bad, 41 to 80. That would increase more limited legislation to legalize. And if I looked into this, they were looking at, where was this here? That otherwise adjust the state's Controlled Substance Act to conform with the Federal Controlled Substance Act, which is what they're trying to get it moved to. And it looks like the amendment would essentially remove cannabis from the schedule entirely. The proposal did not include changes to legalize commercial sales or regulate the market. They had passed a medical bill in 2021, but it failed to get traction in the Senate. So it sounds like they're still having issues as well when it comes to things over here. And it looks like, let's see here, representatives, constituents, why they won't act on it. That's exactly where we are. Time has come once again for Kansas House of Representatives to send a bill to the Senate and let them explain to their constituents why they won't act on it. So very similar to what we're in, going on in Kansas, unfortunately. So Kansas, we feel you. We got your back. This has been an interesting topic when it comes to, it's loading, Virginia. I feel like they've been in the hot seat lately. Our internet here is not great, apparently. Loading. Oh, we had a couple more questions here. Let's see what we got. Infrastructure. That looks a lot better. Thank you, Pete. What's the main reason blocking it? All the things they think will happen have been disproven. Driving infused alcohol sales. Hey, that is a very good point. Maybe we can sell it to the bar owners that they could also have a smoke lounge. All right.
Yeah, we saw that today a little bit in Milwaukee and integrated with alcohol and cannabis beverages, but not together. So you can go into this establishment and consume either or. So I think something like that will be beneficial. Wisconsinites will appreciate that because not everybody consumes cannabis and not everybody consumes alcohol. So I think that's a win-win.
And I give them props for not serving both. I feel like it's
they don't blend the two together. So they're very serving responsibly for sure.
Yep, I agree. And just because a lot of people might not necessarily have been able to test those things out with their bodies to try the alcohol and the cannabis. And even if you did, like there's not really need both, I would say. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So this is neat because nothing's loading. So shout out to where we stand. Country Inn and Suites. Nice spot, but apparently we got to work on our internet. So we'll just touch on the highlights here. But yeah, Virginia's House and Senate leaders are working on a compromise to legalize cannabis sales, highlighting the legislative process towards legalization. I saw Idaho. This is interesting. They had a new bill to propose a $420 mandatory minimum fine for cannabis possession, sparking discussions on cannabis law. So Idaho is way far behind.
That's an outrageous amount of money.
That is. Kim says, how does it work for drug testing when marijuana is legalized in states? Great question. Let's jot that down.
Hey, Kim.
And see if that affects any government assistance or what their plan is there. And or for testing, roadside would probably be the most common one that they'd be trying to use.
Mm-hmm.
Question mark. Appreciate that.
Good question.
Nikki says, I'm planning to leave the state if legalization doesn't happen. Maybe pop growth is a good question too. Good point. Jesus, yes, we are sponsored by Higher Love. Make sure you check them out. They got they sponsor the podcast. They got the awesome promo code to hook you guys up. Some places stop testing for THC in Colorado, but some still test. Depends on the job as well. That makes sense. Cannabis coffee shops. That would be awesome. Let's get that going. Wake and Bakers Unite. I think that would be beautiful.
Yeah, cannabis and coffee, man. Two of my favorite things.
Glorious. Sure. My body does not do well with the mix. I cannot drink and smoke at the same time. I do not drink for that reason. I respect that, Tammy. Respect that big time. We had a couple other news things. Let's see if any of these work yet. That's really bizarre. You bunch of junk. Oh, I bet you they're down here. Maybe. Question on equity. Here we go. Let's see what the largest compromise is in the Virginia world of law and politics. Let's see here. Passed. So Virginia House panel has delayed its consideration of a Senate-passed cannabis legalization bill in order to give backers of two competing legal sales proposals that were approved in votes on the floor of their respective chamber more time to hammer out a compromise. So what is the biggest difference, I wonder? Sounds like the retail cannabis bill, something with the sales. Members approve the motion without further debate. Reach after the vote. Stakeholders are scheduled to come together on Thursday to discuss a compromise bill. That measure could be taken up as soon as Friday in the Senate committee, he said, and as soon as next Tuesday in the House panel. Oh, man, that sounds messy. At least they're talking, I guess. Maybe it sounds like. The House of Delegates and the Senate have each passed a legal sales bill and sent it to the opposite chamber. Oh, God. That's kind of nutty. Despite broad similarities, however, the measures differ on some key matters, including licensing and launch timelines, social equity, tax rates, and whether cannabis could be grown outdoors. Advocates told the Cannabis Moment they expect the Senate Rehabilitation and Social Services Committee to take up the compromise bill at a hearing later this week. Interesting. Hey, Sarah, thanks for stopping by, as always. Wake and Bake catering truck. Hey, that would probably work. I guess we all need to do some research on the legal stakes, take what we can from all of them, and come up with a common sense proposal. That has been discussed, and we might actually have to do that. So And it might not be a terrible thing. I guess we'll have to see. Obviously, it'd be ideal if we could take a bill that's pretty in depth like AGARD's and then just fix a few things if we have differences. But maybe that's going to be one of the questions that I would have for the senator or the representative tomorrow is does he feel that a bill that would be drafted by the people or drafted by not tied to a political party, would that have a better chance of success? We'd figure it out. Let's see. AGARD, I feel, has accomplished that with her prop, right? It is very in-depth. Alan says, we won on the ballot in November. The people bypass the government. Vote. Yeah, you would think we'd be able to vote on it. That would just make sense. But here we are. This was cool. I saw this. Maryland Senate approves bill to protect medical patients' gun rights. And it passed 43-2. Approved legislation from Senator Hoopada. I just want to get a little bit of the in-depth of it here. If enacted, the measure would protect the rights of registered medical cannabis patients to buy, own, and carry firearms under Maryland law, even though they are still restricted from doing so under federal statute.
So the state's going to try to override that.
Yep.
I like that.
Yep. The Maryland legislator also took up the issue around this time last year. The issue has been raised in multiple state legislators and federal courts in recent years as cannabis and gun rights advocates challenge the constitutionality of the federal ban that currently prevents cannabis consumers from owning firearms. Yes, unfortunately, Wisconsin doesn't allow ballot initiatives, which is just crazy to me. And hopefully that gets reversed one day because, again, that just makes no sense to me whatsoever. Where was that? I had just seen, and I don't want to get the number wrong, so we're going to go to New Mexico, first day of cannabis sales. When was this? Okay, this is a little older than I thought it was, but where was it here? There's somebody that just went live. I thought it was New Mexico, but that looks like 2022. Somebody just went live and they had $5 million in cannabis sales their first day. And I'll be darned if I'll be able to remember who that was now that we're here. But
live?
No. Or
one or two?
Yeah,
maybe?
one or two.
Okay.
Looks like Missouri hit 1.4 billion during their first full year of adult use sales. Yeah, that is crazy. That might have been it. Might have been Missouri. So 1.4 in legal cannabis and 280 in medical. That's just crazy, dude. That's a lot of. During January of this year, they sold 94.8 million. Lower than any month since last May. That is crazy. Yeah, that's about, is that 5 million a day?
Yeah, pretty much. I met a guy from Missouri that their cannabis is quite expensive there.
Is it?
Yeah. So
Okay.
I mean, those sales, that makes sense.
Gotcha. Yeah. Gonna be bringing some numbers to the folks tomorrow. I wish we could get some kind of an update on the whole rescheduling thing. I don't know what the whole deal is with that. It just seems messy right now. Missouri allows a concealed carry with a medical card. Okay, that's what's up. Todd said Michigan was $3 billion last year. I believe that because all of Wisconsin goes there. Look at all that tax revenue. Why wouldn't the state want that income? Yes, it's got to be fixed. It's got to be fixed. Yeah, unfortunately, we live in cannabis purgatory. That's what it feels like.
Yes.
But most prohibitions have to come to an end, especially this one. So we will not stop until that happens because that's just how it works. Somebody's got to do it, so the people will do it. If we can't get the politicians on board, we'll just keep making more noise. This was an interesting take on, where was it here? Whoop, whoop. So now it sounds like Ohio's running into the same thing where they're trying to draft the rules for their adult use business applications. I know in New York, they took quite some time, and I think they're only slowly starting to roll out, and same with Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
So again, even once it's said it's going to be legalized, it's still going to be a lot of work. And that's where you can't just let some of these bigger companies with all this money just come and try and take things over. So we got a ways to go, but we need to stick together and make sure our voices are heard, and that's what we'll do. So Nikki says, thank you for your work on this. Hey, appreciate that, Nikki. Couldn't do it without you guys. Could not do it without you guys. Steve says, so long, look ahead, but how long after legalization of weed till we see a new version of anti-smoking campaign that attack tobacco? Obviously, tobacco is way more harmful, but the template seems to fit. Probably a thing. Javin says it's payback for holding on to the 18-year-old drinking age years ago, right? Dawn says there's a point during the failure of prohibitions where breaking the law becomes a social norm. If you obey, you are an outlier. It's getting there. It's definitely getting there. Tammy said, I never saw such a campaign in Colorado after legalization. That's good to know. Catherine, hey, absolutely. She says, thanks for the hard work, guys. Appreciate you. 100%. We need to have rallies. Yes, we do. Really looking forward to it warming up.
Yes.
So we can get out there, although like today would have been a great day for a rally. It was beautiful out. Sun was out. Mohican, hello. Thanks for stopping out, man. And Sean says, I hope Wisconsin gets heads out of their ass and passes this. Yes, agreed. But no, I think rallies are going to be a huge part of the spring/summer. I think that people are already starting to notice just how many people are using cannabis. I think, any of the measures they put out to get any kind of vote or everything, that's been seen for some time. But I think us as people are starting to get more social about it in public, I think is a really big thing, because I think they try to hang on to, unfortunately, it feels like some politicians try to hang on to this. Cannabis is bad and cannabis leads to blah, blah, blah. Well, if they had any inkling of how many legit successful people use it but are afraid to talk about it or admit it, that's just something that we got to keep working on, because it's definitely way more than the majority of the state that is for it. And we need to just keep educating.
And if you feel comfortable, talk to your friends, family, and neighbors about it. I know that can be a difficult topic to approach, but if you can, you just like Senator Agard said, approach them with kindness and try to educate.
Yep. And it's gonna be a process. I mean, as much as I still hope that we could try to get something figured out this year, very well aware that it might not be a thing, but that's where just getting the one-on-one with your neighbors and reminding them this isn't a left versus right or anything like that. This should be a common sense thing. And the people who are against it are typically uneducated. I haven't run into something that was brought up that somebody said was their main issue with cannabis that wasn't able to be like, you don't have to be a dick, but it's just like, what is your concerns? And then you get it from them, and then you help share information with them. And in fact, I've been getting blocked by quite a few people on a lot of our posts because they'll try coming to attack, and then I try to take the high road, no pun intended, try to take the high road. And it's like, hey, we're here to educate. We're not here to point fingers or anything. What are your concerns? And then they'll say, well, and then I'm nice. I'm like, hey, and I can't tell you how many people seem to have slowed down for a while, but over the last week, it's starting to pick back up. But I don't think one of them didn't block the page, which is a good sign of, if they really had something to complain about, I feel like they'd still be on here complaining. So kill them with kindness. That's what we got to do. It works. I know almost every single person in my small town of Whitehall either uses it or is all for it. Let's go. Steve says, true, it hasn't happened yet, but does that mean it won't? Anti-vaping is kicking up. I think a responsible use PSA should start nationwide. Agree with that, 100%. Hey, there's Philip Scott. What's up, buddy? Thanks for stopping out. Glad you're okay. Don says, with 85% approval, we're pretty much everybody. Yeah, that's a good point, Don.
Agreed.
Tammy says, I have my 87-year-old mother-in-law more educated. She was such a reefer madness-minded older person. Hey, that's awesome. Very good job.
And the stigma, absolutely.
Clark County needs help. I did see that, Jill. I'm going to see if we can find your representative's office tomorrow while we're there. Leave them some info. Let them know we'd be happy to chat.
Clark County?
Yep. People use cannabis. What? Look at the UP on a weekend. Every single license plate from Minnesota and Wisconsin, from grandpa and grandma to the principal. Everyone smokes cannabis. Yeah, Waldo, you got to be careful. And that was a cannabis enthusiast too. So that was an interesting situation that you found yourself in. Problem is those making the laws have no idea what cannabis really is. 100%. Like I said, I can't believe how many folks, when we stop by and introduce ourselves, and they're like, no one stopped out to talk to us about cannabis. And then you start showing them some of the products that you can get in Wisconsin. And they're just like, yeah, well, that's just CBD, right? And it's like, yeah, you guys really have no idea what's going on, do you? So working on that. We're all for it. I will talk to them every day if we have to, as long as they're listening, which is what we got to be able to start telling them pretty soon. So, yes, keyboard warriors. Clark County is corrupt. I don't know if they'll ever be fixed. Used to live in Nellisville, says Sean. Cheeses says Whitehall has the worst cheese singles in the world. You ever try to melt a piece? Doesn't happen. Jesus. Jesus, who are you? I feel like I know you.
He's into the cheese.
He's
sure.
The cheese man.
Into it, yeah.
Education plays a huge part in this. Absolutely. Once it's legalized here, what happens to all the Delta 8 and others here? Most legalized states have some major restrictions or are banned. I think if we could focus in on the places that are doing it right and put some regulations in place, I think it has a place. And again, that's just a couple of the parts of the plant that we've been able to figure out over the last couple of years. So I think we need to do a little more research on the long-term effects of it and that kind of stuff. But for the most part, coming from the plant, and if it's derived and synthesized the right way, definitely think it should be around. Would love to see that. Jill says, I agree. I don't think they can be helped. Mohican says we need more good examples of successful people who use cannabis, willing to tell their story publicly. I agree.
Absolutely. Collecting testimonials, how cannabis helps you in your daily life, stuff like that. Keep reaching out, letting Bobby know, because we're talking to your elected officials about these very things.
Yep, 100%. We got to keep doing that. Plymouth is the cheese capital, says Waldo. Barbie says Westby is. Oh, God, here we go. We're going to have a debate. Sean says this is the group I was talking about. Oh, thanks, Sean, for taking a friend. Appreciate that. But no, really looking forward to tomorrow, getting our chance to sit down with our first Republican. We've got another Republican lined up for next week if all goes as planned. And I think, well, that I'm always one to think kind of optimistically. But that's where getting these folks on the podcast so that the voice is shared, as opposed to me sitting down and then reporting to you, sharing that with you guys. I think it'll be great to get them on and make sure that we all feel the same way that, okay, these folks aren't lying. There's something else going on. So I think the games need to come to an end if it is a left versus right thing. I think that's crazy, especially with something that's this well supported, because this is just one topic. So what is it doing to other important topics as well? It should be a no-brainer, unless there's a lot of education missing, which if that's the case, we'll do whatever it takes to get them educated. So let's see. Trying to advance the show. Who did you invite? What Republicans? So tomorrow we're meeting with Shay Sortwell, who's out of Two Rivers. And then next week will be Representative Rob Brooks out of Manitowoc, I believe it is, or right around Manitowoc. I forgot to ask Agar that, Waldo. Please don't hurt me. Cheese says, are you kidding me? Ellsworth cheese curds are unchallenged in superiority.
I'm going to have to go ahead and agree with that.
Well, and his name is Cheeses.
Yeah, Ellsworth cheese curds are the best.
Are they? I don't think I've had those.
Yeah.
We need to check that out.
I think they have like a cheese curd fest, if I'm not mistaken, at Ellsworth.
Okay. It's Maddie J. Blonsky in the house. What's up, man? Maddie, love you, buddy. Thank you again for all your support and coming out to Lebowski Fest, sharing your story. I love that guy. Love everything about him. Love you, Maddie. We'll be talking soon. Taylor says, I'm new here. I'm also new to the green community. Are you two trying to get green legalized? Yes, we are, Taylor.
Welcome, Taylor.
Yes, thanks for stopping by. It was kind of just a dream a few months ago to like realize that there's not much as far as a movement for legalization or kind of groups pushing for it. So just started on social media, kind of getting the voices together. Ran into a few awesome people like Josh, who's sitting next to me. Most of the people you see here are pretty awesome. Barbie's a little sketchy. No, I'm just kidding, Barbie. Thanks for stopping out, Barbie. But yeah, that's what we do. We're meeting with the representative tomorrow at the state capitol, shooting a podcast that we'll be sharing next week. We had Senator Agard on earlier this week on Monday. If you didn't get a chance to watch that, make sure you check that out. She's the one who's been a driving force for legalization for just over 10 years. Nancy Italiano, check this group out. My Pewaukee friend. Oh, hey, let's go, Barbie. After I just kind of teased you. I'm sorry. Please don't be mad. Vern String Cheese says Green Swan.
Okay, we'll have to check.
I think we're going to have to do a blindfolded cheese curd eating contest.
Yeah.
Or,
let's travel around the state and start picking up curds.
We'll pick up curds and then we'll sit down.
Let you guys know.
Yeah, we'll definitely let you know.
We'll consume and then we'll try out curds and tell you which ones are the best.
We can definitely do that.
Okay.
He says, have a great night, guys. Thanks for trying to give Wisconsin support. Absolutely, man. Thanks for stopping by. Curious where a few of them stand, like Derek Van and all the others. Where can I find that info? There's a pretty good deal started. It's in the group Wisconsin Weed Warriors. It was shared by Jay. Yeah.
Yep.
I'll see if I can find that and get that reposted for you. He did a good job of digging into where quite a few of the people stand.
Yeah, check out Jay's stuff. His good education there.
15% off all cheese. I think that's 15% of all cheese in the U.S. comes through Plymouth. What?
Okay.
That seems a bit bizarre. So then I know which ones to try and talk to. Yes, we'll get that list rolling. Is there anything I can do to help, says Taylor? Just keep posted in the group. Follow us on Facebook. That's where we get updated the most. We're looking at doing a lot more events coming up and getting the word out there and sending messages in the masses is basically what we're doing.
Don't forget to call your reps as well. Write them, email them.
There are some guys that you guys do a good job of really getting worked up as far as, oh my God, this guy's calling again about cannabis. Good. Keep calling. Yes. Yeah. Keep calling. We had a couple when we were there. Hey, so this guy keeps asking about. So I would show him the link to the article, but I'm like, yeah, he's got a point. What do you? It's pretty self-explanatory. Barbie says warm and squeaky is the best. Agreed. John Macco is a good one to talk to. Roger. Jesus says merch. We got those in the link. People should continue to reach out. Yes, agreed. When politicians stop by to ask for votes, I tell them if they can't promise to legalize, they will not get my vote. Hey.
Good for you.
A bowl is necessary before partaking in a curd test. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Preferably some of that cheetah piss from Green Swan.
Oh yeah, that was looking nice.
Mohican is a member. Let's go. All right. Well, with that, we do have to get up pretty early. We were scheduled to meet at 9 at the Capitol, and so we drove down today so that we could sleep in a little bit, and then found out about 5 o'clock this evening that there's a last-second session that got scheduled tomorrow morning, so now we're going to be at the Capitol for 8. So we might be sleeping, but we'll be there. So look forward to trying to get some good answers out of this gentleman. He's very pro-cannabis. He actually was telling me about a debate he did where he was the pro-cannabis of the two in the debate. So I think it'll be a great chance to figure out what's going on inside of the party, and hopefully we can get some answers. So appreciate everybody stopping out. Barbie, you're more than welcome. Appreciate you. Green Sun says, good luck tomorrow. Hey, buddy, appreciate that. Tammy says, thank you for all you guys are doing. Absolutely. Wow, you guys are getting overwhelming. I love it. Nikki King says, is the interview live? And if so, what time? It's not live. I just record it, and then I'll be posting. I'm thinking Monday, just because when we post stuff at 8 o'clock, no one sees it. So good job. Keep up the fight. Absolutely, Javin. Thanks for stopping out. Thanks, Joe. We'll kick some ass tomorrow. And can you PM the list? Yes, absolutely. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Gloria. You guys all rock. Seriously.
Thanks, guys.
It's been a long day, but when I think of logging into the podcast, it's like, oh, I'm tired. But then you guys just get me ready to rock. So love it. Thank you, guys. Y'all have a good night. Maddie, send me that pic. You rock. All right, guys. Have a good night. We'll catch you guys on Friday. Adios.